The latest average of national polls gives Trump 63% support within the Republican Party, his nearest rivals, Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, hovering at below 12% apiece. And given his commanding win in Iowa earlier this week, the writing appears to be on the wall for those hoping to unseat the frontrunner. As Trump deftly maneuvers between court appearances and the campaign trail, seeking to leverage the outsized media attention he receives as a result. He faces 2 federal indictments in relation to the January 6th attack on Congress, including efforts to undermine the certification of the 2020 election result, and his alleged illegal retention of classified documents after leaving office, a state election interference case in Georgia, a sexual hush money payments case in New York in relation to the 2016 election, a civil fraud case also in New York in relation to his business operations, and a sexual assault and defamation case brought by writer E. Jean Carroll, which he's been attending in person this week while attacking the presiding judge.
He's a nasty judge. He's a Trump-hating guy. And it's obvious to everybody in the court. It's a disgrace, frankly, what's happening. It's a disgrace. Happens to be a Clinton appointment, but I'm sure that has nothing to do with it.
Judge Lewis A. Kaplan earlier threatened to remove Trump from his courtroom for being disruptive, warning the defendant that he hoped he didn't have to consider excluding him from the trial. Trump responded that he would love that, to which Kaplan said, quote, "I know you would." An exchange drawing huge media coverage and keeping Trump front and center.
Why he's been able to perform so well, particularly in the primaries, is that all of these indictments have just left little breathing room for opponents to articulate a clear case for why they ought to claim the nomination. And with every indictment and every court case brought forward, they feel this need to reaffirm and articulate Trump's talking points, which isn't going to give them the kind of leverage they need to push forward and lay claim to the nomination.
Trump's also pursuing an effort in the courts on whether he enjoyed presidential immunity from criminal charges for trying to overturn the 2020 election, a matter that is likely to go all the way to the Supreme Court, adding to delays in his federal election interference case, which was due to start in March.
If I don't get immunity, then crooked Joe Biden doesn't get immunity, and all of the things he's done to allow the border invasion, millions and millions of people coming into our country, many from prisons, jails, mental institutions, insane asylums, many terrorists coming into our country, that's really allowing insurrection.
A rematch with Joe Biden increasingly looks like a fait accompli.
Trump is the populist candidate, and the economy and immigration are the populist issue. So in that way, I think it was very telling of the country. In that way, I think it's telling of the country, and I think it's telling of the issues for the Republican Party.
Whether his popularity translates into a general election win is a matter probably better addressed once we have 2 nominees confirmed for both the Republican and Democratic parties. And while he shocked the world in 2016 by defeating Hillary Clinton for the presidency, he has had a negative effect on election outcomes for Republicans since, a matter not lost on those running against him for the GOP nomination. So, given his dominance in media coverage, whether for good or bad reasons, the effect is that comparatively, very little is being said about his rivals, and that's always good news if your name is Donald Trump. Shervin Bryceby's SABC News, New York.